I think this particular proposal should be pulled. I think we should start again.
Polling shows support for the Yes campaign has slipped 5%.
You are, and you use the word terrified, that the Yes side is going to lose the referendum.
It comes a time when you've got to make, the pragmatism has got to come to the fore here.
Mick's problem is that he can't separate compromise from capitulation.
Public debate around the Voice to Parliament has been building for weeks, including a dispute amongst Yes advocates about whether a reference to the body advising executive government should be removed to help win over Conservative voters.
This week we'll be making sure that everybody who wants to have their say on the referendum proposal gets a chance to do that.
As federal parliament returns, the formal debate on the bill to amend the Constitution is underway.
If Australians have buyer's remorse, the Voice comes with a no returns policy. It's here to stay. And yet this institution hasn't even been road tested.
We have just heard in one speech every bit of disinformation and misinformation and scare campaigns that exist.
When the Constitution was drafted, it had no respect for people who had lived here for more than 60,000 years.
This will take our country backwards, not forwards. The Voice is regressive, not progressive.
Watching the opposition leader's speech was his former Shadow Cabinet colleague, Julian Leeser.
Clearly I have a different view because I resigned from the Shadow Cabinet in order to campaign for the Voice. I think the Voice can make a difference to Aboriginal people's lives. I think it can improve the quality of policy making. I think it can lead to better outcomes. That's why I'm supporting it.
He will be amongst more than 70 MPs to address the Parliament this week and put their positions on the record. While he supports the Voice, he wants the government's bill amended and has been meeting with crossbenchers in an effort to secure their support.
There are a range of different people on the crossbench and those conversations are ongoing. I think people who are serious about seeing the Voice win and win handsomely want as many Australians as possible to vote for it. I think the best way we can get more Australians to vote for it is remove those things that are causing doubt.
Even before they're introduced, Mr Leeser's amendments appear likely to fail, with the Greens today rejecting them.
We cannot continue to water it down, otherwise we will in fact end up with nothing.
People want something that is practical here, something that's going to make a difference in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people's lives. And really, you can't water down the words anymore.
Are you not at all concerned that if you win over Conservatives by removing the phrase executive government, you could end up losing the backing of some senior and prominent Indigenous leaders?
Well, I've been talking to Indigenous leaders about this as well, and their voices are obviously very important in this conversation too. But in my view, we need to try and get as many Australians as possible to vote yes to this. And in any successful referendum campaign, it's about convincing those people who are soft no voters to come across and vote yes.
The view of Referendum Working Group and Indigenous leaders, and I think a majority of Australians, is they just want to get on with this.
Julian Leeser concedes even if the words executive government are removed, it's unlikely to flip many, if any, of his Liberal colleagues. Over the weekend, senior moderate Liberal Simon Birmingham confirmed he will be voting no.
You'll vote no?
That's the party position.
So you'll vote no?
And I'm not going to act contrary to it.
That means you'll vote no?
That is the party position, David, and I'm not going to act contrary to it.
The government has the numbers to get its bill through the House of Representatives, but it won't get to the Senate for at least another 3 weeks. During that time, if more polls show a dip in support, Julian Leeser thinks sentiment amongst those opposed to his amendments could begin to shift.
I think if support for this was in the 60s and 70s, which it usually is at this time in a referendum campaign, people would be right to say, look, let's not do anything about this, we don't have anything to worry about. It's not. Support is in the high 40s and low 50s, and I think we need to change tack in order to win this referendum.
We're not giving up on this. There's been far too much hard work, and polls are not going to deter me, and it's not going to deter other leaders.
The majority of members in the government's referendum working group believe they've already compromised enough.
We believe that the Australian people can support this. We'll work right up to the very day of the referendum to help people to understand that this is such a simple proposition and such a modest proposal that they can get behind.